Hi everybody, how are you doing? Hope you're doing good. Happy New Year to you guys. I've missed you so much, and I'm now back in this platform of YouTube, and I'll take you through the topic of recap of 2022. Stay tuned. Hi people, how are you doing? Hope you're doing good. Hope you had a good 2022 and you now have a nice 2023. And my topic for today is recap of 2022, and I'll summarize these events into two, that is the happy events and the sad events. And I will start with the happy events. Number one is that peace came to Ethiopia. The federal government of Ethiopia and the Tigray People's Liberation Front signed a peace treaty on November 2nd, 2022. So peace finally came to Ethiopia after the war taking place for 2 years. Or even more, depending. And finally Ethiopia is now stable thanks to that peace treaty which took place last year on November. Yes. Number two is the World Cup 2022, which took place from 20th November up to 18th December 2022, and it took place in Qatar. And this World Cup, Argentina won this World Cup in 2022 for the third time since 1986. This event brought joy to us. Yes. Number three is peace in the 2022 elections in Kenya. William Ruto won the elections and became the 5th president, and there were no tensions taking place after the elections. So the elections that we had took place on August, and they took place and people voted, and the elections were free and fair. And although there were fracasses taking place in Bomas caused by the Azimio supporters, there were no tensions taking place in the whole country, as we experienced peace after the elections. And although I didn't vote, but I was the IEBC official. I worked in IBC as a presiding officer during that time. Number four is revival starting to take place in Kenya. Churches beginning to reopen after the restrictions of COVID taking place, and normal services starting to take place in churches after the battle of COVID-19 or coronavirus taking place from 2020 up to 2022, and people now are starting to get saved as the move of God is taking place in the country and also in parts of the world. And also church conferences starting to take place in Kenya. For example, the Rema Fest in Kasarani, which took place in late August 2022 last year. William Ruto and the pastors are praying over State House. William Ruto started having church services at State House, and he prayed over State House. Number 5, the world population crossing 8 billion. The world population touches 8 billion in November 2022. Yeah. Number 6, Ukraine getting its first Indian origin Prime Minister. UK got a new Prime Minister, that is Rishi Sunak, of Indian origin, as Indians rejoiced. So this was a relief for Ukraine, and not only for Ukraine but also the rest of the world. Number 7, COP27, which took place in November, for the first world countries to pay for the damage an overheating world is inflicting on poor countries. By establishing a fund for loss and damage, they're trying to help the poor countries that are dealing with situations like drought, situations like heat waves, situations like famine, etc. And I'll now start with the sad events of 2022. And number 1 is Russia invading Ukraine. Vladimir Putin and his army invaded Ukraine, and they caused havoc in the country, as many people lost their lives, and women and children, they were hopeless, they were sad. Also, homes were destroyed, buildings were destroyed in Ukraine, and this war affected not only Ukraine but also affected the rest of the world. Yeah. Number 2 is fuel prices. Food prices increased in Kenya. It's a sad event for this country, as fuel prices increased in March 2022, as people were queuing to get fuel in the petrol stations. Also, maize flour prices increased from 100 shillings to 400 shillings, which was very sad. Cooking oil prices increased, which caused commotion and panic to Kenyans. Number 3, drought taking place in Kenya. 11 counties were affected by drought, as people were dying of hunger in those counties, and people tried to eat something, anything, so as to sustain themselves, and some of them ended up becoming sick as a result of eating meat from carcasses of cows, goats, which is very sad. And number 4, insecurity in Nairobi. Parts of Nairobi experienced crime, as people were mugged, stolen from, etc. It's a very sad event taking place in our country. And finally, number 5, Queen Elizabeth II died on 8th September 2022. The whole world grieved over her death, minus the African countries, although the African countries did not pay much attention to her death because of her reign in Kenya, taking place from 1950 till 2022, as her reign was the one that devastated lives in Kenya. Her reign also made Africans to hate her, because she destroyed lives of Kenyans in the colonial period, that is the Mau movement. Yeah, and so world leaders went to pay their last respect to her. And yeah, although Africans did not pay much attention to her death, but the rest of the world did. Yeah, hope you've learned something from the recap of 2022. What events do you remember for 2022? Comment down below and bye.